What's up? What's up? What's going on, everybody? We tapping in today. I'm gonna give you some time to tap in. Jump in. Let me know where you're from. Let me know if you're interested in this topic by jumping in. Today we're gonna be debunking myths about self-employment because some of these myths are really getting in our way. And even if you do start a business, believing in these myths are gonna hold you back tremendously. So I wanted to jump in. I have 8 myths that I'm gonna bust, but I also want to address any fears that you might have that's holding you back from either starting your business or growing your business or hiring that next person or getting your first client or making your first sale, whatever the deal is. Let's jump in. Let me know that you're here by telling me where you're tapping in from, and drop a 1 if this is something that interests you. If you have an entrepreneurial mindset or if you're looking to develop into an entrepreneur, you're in the right place. If you have a business idea, if you want to, especially if you have a heart-based business, if you are looking to serve other people, if you're looking to make other people's lives better and monetize it and make a difference, you're in the right place. Thank you for tapping in. Let me know where you're tapping in from. We're going to get started in just a minute, but I want to give as many people time to jump in, as we need. Today we are debunking myths about self-employment. Can you give a birthday shout out to the Pirate King Angel? Happy birthday, Pirate King Angel. Good God. Celebrations for you. All right, guys, jump in, get comfortable. We are going to be debunking 8 myths about self-employment today. But before we jump in, let me know where you're tapping in from. I see you, Ohio. What's happening, good friend? I am doing well. There's heaven all around me. You know the vibes. Yes, indeed. What's going on? How you feeling?
I'm doing good. How you
Oh,
doing?
there's heaven all around me. Yes, indeed.
Debunking myths about self-employment.
That part. Yes, indeed. That's what we're talking about today.
Well,
What's
I ain't
on?
got nothing else to do. Let's talk about it.
Well, I was going to give people a chance to actually jump in. I got a list of myths here. Are you looking to start your own business?
Well, currently I'm in truck. I'm a truck driver.
Okay.
So I plan on learning the business and getting a few trucks and then having people drive for me and I stay home. So yeah.
That'll work. That'll work. I have a good friend that's actually doing that. He just bought his
Mhm.
truck. So we're going to dive in. We're going to dive in.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I'm sitting in the hotel room right now waiting to be assigned. So
Oof. I feel it. You might be working with him, for all I know.
I might.
Where
I
you
might.
tapping in from?
I'm Florida.
Florida. All right, dope,
Hmm.
dope. I'm glad to have you. You want to jump back
Yeah.
in the audience? I'm gonna get right underway.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
How do we do
Oh,
that?
you mean get off of here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, my bad. I
No,
ain't know.
it's love. You know the deal.
Let me get off of here then. I'm sorry.
Nah, you good.
I don't know how to do it though, because hold on. Oh, hold on. Wait a minute now.
Live and
Okay, I
act.
see it. I see it.
All right, thanks for
Okay.
tapping in.
All right. Have a
Did you
good
get
one.
it? Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I'm excited about this live. Thank you for tapping in. Let me know what part of the country, what part of the world you are. We're debunking myths about self-employment. And it's super important because I know a lot of us, we want to create generational wealth. We want to create financial freedom in our lives. And becoming an entrepreneur is a really good way to do that. And we have these ideas, about entrepreneurs being selfish and greedy, and of course, not. I can't speak for every single entrepreneur, and some of them are, but you can't really attach a meaning to all entrepreneurs because of one instance or because it's out of your reach or because there's so many different challenges that we face. We can't just paint all entrepreneurs with the same brush. So I hope today to kind of break down some of the barriers between you and starting a heart-based business where you can actually serve people the way you like to serve people, doing something that you feel is meaningful, doing something that you enjoy, and doing something that you're good at. I want to break down those barriers. So as you tap in, let me know where you're tapping in from. And we're going to jump in. Before we jump in, I want to tell you a little bit about myself. If you are new here, I am my coach, T Spice. You call me T Spice, or you call me Talmadge if you could pronounce it. My name is Talmadge Spicer, and I am a mindset coach on a mission to inspire and empower 1 million people to live a life by design instead of by default. And that typically looks like supporting people in getting out of their job and into their dream by way of entrepreneurship, right? So if we can decide on a product or a service that you deem is very valuable and you want to bring it to the market, you want to bring it to the people, I'm the guy to help you bridge that gap between being an employee and being self-employed. So, with that said, feel free to drop your questions and comments in the comment section. As I go along, I will address anything that you want me to touch on, to engage on. And here's a question right here. If you are looking to start a business, or you have started a business, I want you to share with us your biggest fear about getting started, or your biggest fear about that next level. Let's tap into what you're already thinking, what you're already feeling about being an entrepreneur, because it is a very scary thing to do. But you got my support. Love. So let's jump into it. Guys, 8 myths about being self-employed. The first one is that being self-employed means that you have to work long hours. Now, I feel you. A lot of entrepreneurs do work a lot of hours. A lot of entrepreneurs actually pride themselves on working 24/7, sun up, sun down, no sleep. Sleep is for suckers, that whole nine. But here's the thing. You don't have to work long hours. You can actually work 4 hours. You can work 1 hour a week. The beautiful thing about self-employment is that you get to make your own schedule. Now, I can hear a lot of you right now, but what about my bills? I gotta pay my bills. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. Now, I think that question actually comes from this idea that we've been trained. We've been programmed to believe that time is money, and that your money comes from the amount of time that you put into something. And that's low key. That's another myth, because time isn't necessarily attached to your money. It doesn't have to be. I mean, in employment, you make an agreement to sell your time in exchange for money. So in that situation, yes, time is money. But as an entrepreneur, as someone who is self-employed, your money comes from the value that you provide, not necessarily the time it took you to put in, to do the job. It could have taken you 2 minutes, but it's worth $2,000 to somebody, right? So your money, your income is going to be directly correlated to the amount of value that you can provide. So you don't necessarily need to work super long hours to be a successful entrepreneur if you're asking the right questions and you have the right mindset, right? Anything on that, guys? Let me know if this is helpful. Let me know if this is valuable for you so far. We got 8 myths. We just did one. We're debunking myths about self-employment so that you can get out of your own way and live a life by design instead of by default. I am T Spice. I'm on a mission to inspire and empower you to live your dream life. So let's do it. Let's get into number 2. Ladies and gentlemen, the second myth about self-employment is that being an employee is less risky. This is a good one. Because a lot of us, we hold on to jobs that aren't fulfilling us. We sacrifice our dreams, we sacrifice our vision, we sacrifice all of the things that would fill our spirit up and give meaning to our lives because we believe that we have a thing called job security, right? Just because they don't intend to fire you doesn't mean that they won't. It doesn't mean that they won't go out of business. It doesn't mean that anything could literally happen, right? And this idea of job security, it doesn't go very far if you really think about it, right? You can get fired at any given time. Matter of fact, was it a year ago, 2 years ago? We had the government shutdown. Now, government jobs are supposed to be the most secure jobs that we have, period. Number one, job security, get you a government job. Not only did these government workers still have their job, but they did not get paid Like, they didn't come to work. The government shut down. They were left to fend for themselves. So that just goes to show that even in the most secure jobs, you're still susceptible and vulnerable to going without pay. So the idea that you want to shift is one from my job is going to provide me security to I provide my own security. I'm able to develop a mindset that says no matter what happens, I'm going to make it work, right? I'm going to figure it out. I am capable of driving my income, of creating my life, right? Let me touch on another point when it comes to employment being less risky. Now, typically, you know, saying on average, if you ask the average employee, you're going to be talking to somebody who has one job, right? One job, meaning that all your eggs are in one basket. And we're hung up on this idea of job security, but once that job is gone, right? Your one job, that's 100% of your income, right? When you own a business, when you're self-employed, you can free yourself up to actually start developing multiple streams of income, which means that you can fall back on one, you can fall back on two. And when you do that, you're starting to create your own security while providing a service that's actually meaningful to you. Diana, what's up? What's up? Today we're debunking myths about self-employment. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for tapping in. Let me know where you're from. Let me know your questions. Let me know your concerns. Let me know your biggest fear about starting your business and getting to that next level. We're going to jump into number 3. Why am I talking like that? I'm excited. I'm excited. Number 3, self-employment equals stress, right? Now, I know a lot of people in my family, you know, a lot of people in my family feel like, I can't be bothered. I don't want to learn anything new. I don't want to go through the trials and tribulations. And I want to validate that because it can be stressful, right? It's a big leap for a lot of us. I mean, I quit my job cold turkey and was like, I'm going balls to the wall. I'm going to put foot pedal to the metal and make it happen. I'm going to figure it out, right? But what I've learned is that the unknown about entrepreneurship isn't the scariest part. The scariest part about the unknown is what we project into it, right? The thoughts that we assume are going to come up because we want to brace ourselves. We want to be ready for every challenge, every dip, every pitfall, right? So we kind of talk ourselves out of things before we even give it a try. And we already label entrepreneurship as inherently stressful when it's really us making it stressful. We project stress onto it and it reflects it right back to us, right? With mindful practices, you can learn to manage your stress. Write a 1 in the chat if you believe that. If you believe that you can manage your stress and be stress-free based on how you approach different situations, write a 1 in the chat. Let me know that you're here and that you're tapped in. But that's why it's super important to start paying attention to your mental health. Because when your external world, when your circumstances are the dictating factors of how you feel, right? It could potentially hold you back from a tremendous opportunity like self-employment, like becoming an entrepreneur, like serving your world, serving your community, serving your family in a way that you find meaningful, and you get to make a living out of it. So it would be a shame, a crime and a shame to hold yourself back from living a life by design because we've decided that it's going to be too stressful before we dive in. 1's in the chat. 1's in the chat. Love, love, love. Let's jump to the next one. Number 5, being self-employed is lonely. Being self-employed is lonely. I want to talk about my experience as a entrepreneur, as a self-employed black man in America. It can be lonely. And here's the reason why it can be lonely. Because to become an entrepreneur, you're taking yourself out of the 95% of people and starting to move into a smaller group, the minority. 5% of people are entrepreneurs. So that means that there's going to be a lot less people that you can relate to, a lot less people that you can talk to about certain things, a lot less people that are going to be able to understand what your mission is, what your goal is. And that's how it can be lonely. At the same time, it gives you a new language, a new way of being, and new people to be around. You start hanging around other entrepreneurs that can have that conversation with you, right? A big part of business success is what? Let me know. Networking. That's right. You guys are smart. You guys are so smart. So when you network, right, you open yourself up to business opportunities, but you can also make friends. I've made friends with some of my mentors, mentees, like other mentees, and I'm in Facebook groups. And shout out to Return from Saturn in the comments, because we've networked over here on TikTok, and now we're going to Tulum, Mexico. And when I get out there, I'm going to meet some phenomenal people, build relationships out there. We're friends. We don't have to be lonely is the point. Mentees, that's the part. So being self-employed doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be lonely. Doesn't mean that you have to lock yourself in a room. You can if you want to, and maybe it's beneficial sometimes to really, get some space and some distance away from other people while you're developing yourself and what you really want and developing a clear vision for yourself. But don't be deterred from entrepreneurship because you might be shifting and changing your friend groups and shifting and changing the conversations you have, because the idea is growth, is elevation. And sometimes separation is required for your elevation. And I don't want that to deter you either, because sometimes that's the key factor to being able to change your situation so that you can now come back and impact the people that mean the most to you, your friends and your family. Entrepreneurship isn't lonely. Let's jump into number 6. Before we jump into number 6, let me know that you're tapped in by dropping a 1 in the chat. Ask any questions. I'm curious to know what was your biggest fear. If you've already started your business, what was your biggest fear? How did you overcome it? What's your biggest question about self-employment, entrepreneurship? What's your business idea? What matters the most to you when you think about entrepreneurship? Let me know. Let's have a back and forth, because that's what this is all about. Number 6. 666, number 6. Get excited. Get excited. Thank you, Terrell. Love, bro. Shout out to Terrell, Alex. Funniest motherfucker on TikTok. Goddamn. Love, bro. Love. To the max. Number 6, self-employment means doing everything yourself. Now, this one. Self-employment means doing everything yourself. It holds some truth to it. I think that's one of the reasons why people hold on to these, because these ideas do have an element of truth to them, right? Depending on how you look at it, depending on how you approach entrepreneurship, it can mean that you need to do everything yourself. I know I started off, and most people will start off doing everything themselves. But here's the funny thing about business is, as you do it, as you keep doing it, as you practice, and as you develop as an entrepreneur, you get better at it. And how do you judge your results? Many different ways, but one way you judge your results as an entrepreneur is with income. Get excited. And when you get more income, you give yourself the opportunity and the option to start collaborating, hiring new people, and having people do different jobs for you. You do not have to do everything by yourself. Not only that, but especially as a new entrepreneur, networking with people that are across from you, networking with people that are on your level, you find ways to collaborate, right? That can get your message, get your product, get your service to more and more people in an effective way. You do not have to do everything yourself. There is support, there's resources out here. I'm here, we can make this happen. Here's something that I find interesting is that we have this idea, right? The self-made myth that people out here have really just created fortunes and built wealth from zero to where they are now. The Elon Musks and the Jeff Bezos of the world did this self-made. When the truth is, if you look around, I'm going to challenge y'all in the chat to name one thing that is in our human experience that wasn't built, like in society, that wasn't built by a team of people, that was built by literally one person. You're not going to find it. You're not going to find it. We as human beings, we're like ants, we're a collaborative species. We get things done by collaborating with one another, right? So this idea that self-employment means doing everything yourself can be true, but doesn't have to be true. And if you're working smart, it isn't true. Thank you, Alexa. Thank you for that reminder. All right, guys, we got a couple more myths that we want to bust here before we jump off. Let me jump to the comments. I straight up manifested my mentors and business partners when I had zero money. I feel that. Yesterday, I did too. I remember sitting in my room and listening to people say that your 5 closest friends or the people that you spend the most time around is going to dictate who you are and who you become. And I remember thinking like, well, how do you just up and change your friends like out of nowhere? You can't just choose your friends. Like, we're friends with the people that we're friends with because of vicinity, because they're close, because we went to school together, because we work together, whatever the case. How do you change your friends? And years going through the process, trusting the process, I learned that my friend group changed when my language changed, when I changed, right? When my energy shifted, when my frequency changed, I started tapping into people that were on different frequencies, on different wavelengths, right? It's hard to put the two pieces together to connect it before you do it, but I'm telling you, if you want to change your friend group, if you want to manifest mentors and business partners, you've got to shift your energy to match that frequency and pull it in. Get excited. How we doing so far? Is this helpful, guys? Drop a 1 in the chat if this has been helpful so far. Drop a 1. Let me know. Also, let me know if you have any fears, if you have any input. Let's engage. Thank you for tapping into my first live, of this sort. I'm going to be doing this regularly. This one is debunking myths about self-employment. Let me know if I need to dive in deeper. Let me know if I need to do this one again. Let's go on to number 7. Number 7, running your own business is complicated. Running your own business is complicated. And I'm going to say that it's more complicated than just showing up and clocking in and doing what you've been trained to do. But it doesn't necessarily have to be this grand old project. I think that we have this idea from school that when you take a test and you sit down, the answer is either right or wrong, right? And then once you fail that test, it's over, right? You're going to experience pain. You're going to experience lack. You're going to experience all of these negative things that we don't want to experience because you failed the test, because you got the wrong answer. But the difference between school and entrepreneurship, or school and real life, is in school, you get the lesson first and then you get the test. But in real life and in entrepreneurship, you get the test first and that's what teaches you the lesson. So get excited. You jump out there and you find the problems by doing the thing, right? So this is all about learning. This is all about growth. So if it's complicated to you, or if it's too complicated to you, and that's the reason why you never get started, you're never going to get started because the complications only shrink, minimize, and disappear because you've given yourself the experience from having the courage to take a chance, to bet on yourself. So this myth, entrepreneurship or self-employment is complicated, is another one that is a matter of perspective. You're going to experience, you're going to see exactly what you tell yourself to expect to see, right? This is another big one that stops us in our tracks. And I want to let you know that it may not be easy, but entrepreneurship is simple. You develop a product, you develop a service, you find the people to sell it to, and you sell it. Entrepreneurship in 4 steps. Not easy, very simple. Number 8, the last myth that we're gonna bust today, unless y'all drop something in this good old chat, is that you cannot start a business without a lot of money. This might be the biggest one, because we all know and believe the saying, takes money to make money. Takes money to make money. I'm gonna go ahead and call CAP. C-A-P. CAP. It does not take money to make money. In fact, if you learn about money and you know what it actually is, you'll find that it is a representation of value. So what does it take to make money? It takes you providing value. It takes you getting creative enough and curious enough about other people's lives, other people's problems, and other people's challenges, and finding solutions to those problems and challenges, turning that into a product or service, and getting it to those people and improving their lives, improving their lifestyles, making it a little bit easier, taking one job, one concern off of their desk, off of their head, off of their shoulders, and monetizing it. They will gladly pay you the worthless money in exchange for the valuable product or service that you've developed. Get this out of your head, that it takes money to make money. I sold over $1,000 worth of my first book, Have the Guts to Follow Your Guts, before it was even written, right? Hadn't paid for any graphic designer, hadn't paid for, an editor, hadn't paid for anything. What I had was an idea, a list of content, a table of contents, a list of chapters, and that's it, and a picture. I was able to let people know, bring an awareness to the project that I was working on, and I pre-sold enough books to make over $1,000 without having invested a dime at that time. I don't say that to brag or to gloat or anything like that. I say that to say that it is possible to make money without having a bunch of money first. It's less about the resources and more about how resourceful you are. Real Usman, what's up, brother? How you feeling? We tapping and we're debunking the myths about employment, self-employment. We are on the last one. That was number 8. Let me just do a quick recap before I do. I want to invite you all to tap into the comments. Let me know if this was helpful for you. Thank you for riding with me for the entire live here. I'm going to be doing this more often. If you're new here, I am my coach T Spice, or you can call me Talmadge or Tal or whatever you want to call me. And I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission to inspire and empower 1 million people to live a life by design instead of by default. And that usually looks like helping them get out of their jobs, into their dreams, starting a heart-based, service-based business, and doing something that you really find meaning in, find joy in. So let's do it. Let's do a quick recap before we jump out of here. Again, I'm grateful for you all. Drop what's your biggest fear about starting your business. I'll definitely tap into you. Matter of fact, I got one right here. The biggest fear of starting a business is failure, and I feel that. And I have a reframe for you, my friend, because we've been programmed to think that failure is bad. We've been programmed to think that you have one chance at this thing, right? We've been programmed through school and taking tests that if you fail at something, that means something about you. It means you're deficient in some area. And I want to say that the most powerful people in this world are the ones that are able to embrace failure and learn from it, right? If you can shift, if you can change your relationship to failure and challenges, right? If you can find the gems in it. I just realized employment is misspelled. Get excited. Thank y'all for not dragging me for that. Or is it even, no, is it good? Let me know. But if you can shift your ideas around failure, right? And you can find the gems and you can find the lessons and you can find the growth in it, you're going to be unstoppable. Here's the reframe. There's no such thing as failure unless you stop, right? The only way to fail is to not start or to quit too early, right? That has nothing to do with pivoting. Now, pivoting is important. Sometimes you need to pivot and change directions and all that stuff. Please don't stay on track to a dead end when you know it's a dead end. But throwing your hands up in the air and giving up on your vision, on your destination altogether, that's true failure. Tripping over your own feet or falling on your face once or twice, it's not failure, it's a lesson. Get excited. I'd like to connect with you, brother. I want to support you and get it started because you deserve the lifestyle of your dreams. So you deserve a designer lifestyle. Let's do a quick recap. Let me know if this has been helpful for you. The 8 myths. Self-employed means working long hours. That's only if you believe that. You increase the value of your product or service. You increase the amount of income you make from that product or service. The less time you need to put into it, right? Time is not money unless you're employed, and that's the agreement you made. Number 2, being an employee is less risky. I would say that being an employee is more risky. Why? Because all of your eggs are in one basket. You lose that one job, you lose 100% of your income, whereas if you're an entrepreneur, you can have multiple streams of income. You can be an employee and have multiple streams of income. But typically, an employee has one stream of income and they're holding on to it for dear life because of this idea of job security when you can get fired at any time. Number 3, self-employment means putting all your eggs in one basket. Well, obviously, I just touched on that. You have multiple streams of income. You can manage your time in ways where you can set up assets to work for you. We'll talk about passive income in the next live. Number 4, self-employment equals stress, and it can be stressful. But with the right mindfulness tactics, if you're following the right people, I saw a motivational speaker tap in. You got to tap into that good brother because he will dive into your brain cells, right? Dive into your brain cells, give you awareness and give you insights to help you manage stress in a way that you could never do working a job because they don't care about your peace. But in entrepreneurs, peace is your priority. You need to have peace of mind. You need to have control over your vessel, right? Entrepreneurship is not inherently stressful, but it can be if you make it that way. Number 5, being self-employed is lonely. Now, it can be lonely because you're changing, you're shifting, your language is changing up. The people that you was around can no longer relate to you in the same ways, but at the same time, you're out there and you're networking, you're meeting new people, phenomenal information is being passed to you, and you're growing and you're having a bunch of fun doing this thing the right way. You get to make better relationships, more quality, more fulfilling relationships, and that's going to lead you to a place where you can reach back and still touch base with your current friends and family. Number 6, self-employment means doing everything yourself if you don't want to hire anybody, if you don't want to collaborate with those that are closest to you, people doing the same thing as you, something similar to you. You can collaborate and you can get things done. You can allocate jobs out to other people if you leave yourself open for that opportunity. I can't describe my nose. My voice is vibrating the hell out of my nose, man. Number 7, running your own business is complicated. Anything that is new to you is going to be complicated at first. What I want you to do here to overcome this myth is realize that there's going to be a learning curve, that you're going to have to be patient, that as long as you believe it's going to be complicated, you're going to complicate it even more. Here's the mindset shift. Here is the perspective shift, the paradigm shift, right? Shit, my nose just made me forget. It'll come back. Running your own business is complicated. It's only complicated if you make it that way. Here's the mindset shift. It is simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. It's not complicated. And number 8, you can't start a business without a lot of money. We touched on this. Money doesn't necessarily make more money. It does if you have it. But if you don't have it, that doesn't mean that you don't have access to it. You have access to OPM, other people's money. You have access to loans. You have access to just the idea that income is generated from providing value to others, right? If you can figure out how to solve a problem from somebody, you can make some money. Get excited. Love. Thank you for tapping into the end. I'm going to jump off. We got another meeting. It's an accountability group. Hey, let me know if you want a copy of my book, Have the Guts to Follow Your Guts, Why Playing It Safe is the Biggest Risk of All. I'm giving it away for free. So reach out to me. Tap the link in my bio. Jump in. Grab the book. It's a 9-chapter compilation of my life's experience with jumping out of my comfort zone. And if you want to have the guts to follow your guts and create a life of by design instead of by default, I recommend that you tap in. Love. Be well. Don't forget to have the guts to follow your guts. Peace. We'll be back again.